Shut up and sit down.
I don't like doing this way, but whoever put the quarters on, they either had their knees into it and they pushed too far, which allows us not to have the correct lines. So I had to cheat it basically and mold it with fiberglass resin. Right here where they put this cage in for the Pro Street, you know, they put this skeleton cage in here. Well, again, we had dents right here because somebody had their knees up against it while they were welding the quarter on. And so that made more body work for me. So I just want to be that explanatory. I don't have that. I feel naked. Anyways, at least it'll be straight. The guy will be happy. It's going a dark color. It's got to be straight. So this is the necessary steps we have to take to make it straight. I'm getting ready to put the fender on, and then vice versa. We're gonna have to fit the other side. Then we can get our hood on, and the car will be complete. I got the roll bars painted yesterday, so we just got to do our dash, the tops of the door panels, which is an interior part. So this all gets gloss black, requested by the customer, and that'll match, you know, the dash and seats and carpeting and what have you. So that's all we got today. Stay tuned for this afternoon.
Okay, so when the Chevelle came in, somebody else had done the fabricating on it. We didn't do the fabricating on it. And, you know, when it first came in, you look at it quick and everything looked good. Well, it was the farthest from the truth. This bar, when they put it in, they look straight, but when you go to put the fenders on, they're not at the same angle. So we had to cut the inner fender over here to fit, because this bar should be about right here. And then if you look over here, whoever did the body work here, they just warped and heated it up so much that there was ripples, even though it was new panels, ripples all the way down. It would have been better off with old panels and fixing the rust ourselves. Back here, again, the bars weren't in the right places. So if you look over here, this bar is a little narrower than this bar because they were just kittywampus. So Dave has got all that fixed up.
When they fabricated the cage, you could see the skeleton right here. Well, they pushed on the quarter to weld it, which it pressed the quarter out, so it left a big dent. Well, we got this side straight. I got to get the other side.
So there was ripples all along here. The front fenders were done so poorly, it was cheaper to get new fenders, and after spending about 20 hours on them and we fitted them, they just wouldn't even come close to working.
Yeah, the bottoms, the bolts were
Right.
They cut them, the metal. They put new pieces on the bottoms, but they cut the metal too short, so the bolt holes wouldn't align with the undercarriage. The guy did a good job of welding them. He just didn't measure them. They're pre-fit.
So now that we got it all back to how it would have been if nobody touched the body, we can now finish the body work and then finish painting everything once the fenders come in.
Pieces on here where he told us to correct. They put them new quarters on it. It's got chunks of metal out of here. And he wrote on here, fix piece, add in piece. So we gotta add 2 pieces, one on each side, over by Gary's. This was high, here's the fenders. Here's the doors trimmed out. So we gotta do is sand this little mud on each side. Fenders back in. Maybe I can get it in primer today.
Oh, yeah, this is the one I did. Let's look at that. What picture? Can't even see what picture. Come on. Can't even see what picture.
Look at the door.
Right here.
Go ahead.
What people fail to realize is when they start altering the firewall, which holds the holes that align the fenders up, you start messing with that, and you don't measure when you're welding there. It incorrects the fitting of all the parts. So you got fenders out of line, doors out of line, and you have to chase the deficiencies and go around the vehicle. And what leads to that is somebody doing and not measuring. Then you got the doors off from the fenders. Then you're chasing the fenders to the cowl. This here, this was totally off. Everything it throws off. Now I yet to put the hood on, so that's going to be another issue. It's going to take me time to shim, and that's one thing after another. When people mess with the heart, then you're going to have the limbs are going to just be messed up. And this stuff takes time. It's not something you get done in 2 hours. This body was not correct when it came in here. It had a bunch of flaws in it. If I would have painted this car when it came in here the way it was, the guy would have been totally unsatisfied. You know, I mean, I corrected this car. Yeah, it took hours to do, but, you know, it was necessary to make the job look correct because our name's on it. So, I don't know why there's an issue, but when they elaborated the quarter on here, none of the lines matched. I mean, this thing's got beautiful lines now, but people that, you know, they don't know what they're doing. These cars are engineered from the factory, and, you know, for somebody to bring you a bunch of parts and need that much work, you know, they don't understand. When you start screwing with the firewalls where the fenders bolt up, you start altering that throws everything off. These quarters were dented from right here to here on both sides where the cage that they installed, because somebody was pushing up against it too tight, which left a bulge in the quarter. So I had to fabricate that. When he put the quarters on, he didn't fabricate the metal that was, and he wrote right on there, you need to add a piece of metal. I mean, this is all time-consuming stuff that, you know, the gentleman failed to realize, you know, and why should we soak up the cost from somebody else's mistakes? I mean, the guy, whoever fabricated that metal, didn't know what they were doing because it kiltered everything. Everything.